Don't kid yourself. If society collapses tomorrow, you won't get a warning. You'll get a brick through your window, a busted lock, a shadow on your porch at 3 a.m. And the terrifying truth is, you've already been marked. A 2024 FEMA report revealed that during civil unrest, over 61% of targeted homes were chosen before the first grocery store emptied out. Why? Because the signs were already there. Signs that you might be showing right now, on your porch, your truck, your trash, or your gear. In a collapsing America, it's not the loudest who get hit first. It's the ones who look the most prepared. So if you've got any of these 7 things visible, looters are already watching you. 7. Gasoline cans and propane tanks, left in plain sight. You wouldn't believe how fast a 5-gallon gas can disappear off your porch when the grid goes down. In 2024, there were over 1,300 reported thefts of fuel storage containers in just 3 states, Texas, Florida, and California, during periods of civil unrest and natural disaster evacuations. And that's before the looters even got serious. If you've got red fuel cans, propane tanks, or a tidy row of jerry cans visible near your shed, carport, or garage door, you've already been marked. Looters don't wait for law and order to collapse. They prepare like predators, scouting suburban prey in the weeks before a storm, blackout, or protest kicks off. And when they spot fuel, that's like gold. Not metaphorically, literally. In a blackout, a single gallon of gasoline has more barter value than a full silver coin. Propane tanks, power stoves, generators, and makeshift heaters, making them a prime target not just for desperate looters, but for organized thieves who drive around in panel vans with bolt cutters and crowbars, waiting for the next soft target. And yes, many of these crews monitor your street via ring cameras they've hacked or local Facebook groups you post in. If they see you preparing for winter with fuel backups, you're advertising your survival stash, and in a post-collapse America, that makes you a walking bullseye. Especially in suburban neighborhoods where fences are short, lighting is poor, and police response times have ballooned past 25 minutes in places like Denver, Baltimore, and Sacramento. Lock that fuel away or bury it if you have to. Because once the blackout hits, there's no time to unring the dinner bell. 6. Window AC units and visible power generators. Think that window AC unit is keeping you cool in the summer. It's also painting a neon "I have electricity" sign in the middle of a blackout. In July 2023, during the Texas grid failure scare, homes with visible generator hum or glowing ACs were burglarized at nearly 5x the normal rate within the first 36 hours of the event. Why? Because looters aren't just looking for food and water, they're targeting power. And that humming generator in your backyard or the drone of a window unit, that's a siren song for people whose phones are dead, fridges are rotting, and children are screaming from heat stroke. You think they're going to just walk by? Not a chance, especially when you've got extension cords dangling out of windows, generator exhaust visible from the street, or a sound profile that says, "We've got power, you don't." This isn't just paranoia. It's tactical reality. Organized looter gangs in post-hurricane Florida were found using cheap $40 ref detectors from Amazon to triangulate which homes still had active electricity during the blackout. And once they found it, they didn't just steal the generator. They followed the cords into your house. These machines, when visible, don't just risk theft. They endanger your entire household. A silent solar setup is one thing, but a roaring generator is a declaration of superiority in a society that's gone dark. And guess what the angry, hungry masses do to the guy with cold air and microwave popcorn? They don't knock, they pry. 5 garden beds and backyard chickens. You wouldn't think a tomato plant would get you robbed, but in a starving neighborhood, a thriving garden is a declaration of defiance. Backyard food production, raised beds, hoop houses, chickens, rabbits, even vertical gardens, is one of the first things looters mark when shtf. And yes, they're already watching. Urban farming has exploded in America over the last 5 years. More than 35% of households now grow at least some of their own food, but only about 10% of them are protecting that investment. Backyard poultry theft rose by over 300% in 2022 alone during food shortages in the South and Midwest. You might have installed that chicken coop for self-sufficiency, but to the desperate man 2 blocks away who hasn't fed his kids in 2 days, it's a meat locker, and it doesn't even have a lock. Visible cabbage rows, compost bins, rainwater collectors. They might look like signs of good stewardship to you, but In a neighborhood gone primal, they scream, "We're eating," when you're not. What's worse is that social media's already betrayed you. If you've ever posted a picture of your garden or homestead setup, it's out there. Reverse image search and a couple clicks can bring it right to your zip code. In the first 72 hours after a crisis hits, whether it's a rail strike, power grid failure, or targeted cyber attack, hungry neighbors don't go downtown looking for FEMA trucks. They go down the block. You thought your cucumbers were a hobby, but to someone watching through binoculars from the park across the street, they're calories. Fence it, net it, camouflage it, or say goodbye. 4. Brand new vehicles and tactical gear in plain view. Here's what most Americans don't understand. The fastest way to make yourself a target isn't flashing cash. It's flashing capability. That brand new 4x4 Tacoma in the driveway, with the rooftop tent and the MOLLE gear, strapped to the roof rack? That's not a vehicle anymore. It's a mobile survival fortress, and every looter in town knows it. In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, reports surged of preppers being specifically targeted, not because they were weak, but because they were prepared. Organized looters in New Orleans and Baton Rouge knew exactly what they were looking for: jacked-up trucks, bug-out rigs, roof racks with gas cans, and, most of all, tactical backpacks and military-style equipment visible through the rear glass. They didn't even bother with houses that looked normal. They went after gear. In fact, in a 2023 study from the Urban Preparedness Institute, 72% of post-disaster thefts in mid-income neighborhoods were targeted, not random. And vehicles with overt survival gear were at the top of the list. You might think that blacked-out Jeep with the winch and custom suspension makes you look tough, but when you leave it parked in your driveway, it's not you they're afraid of. It's what you've got inside. Medkits, ham radios, dehydrated food pails, tools, those aren't accessories. They're lifelines. And in a crisis, lifelines get cut. Stop leaving your tactical bag visible in the back seat. Don't leave camo gear on the passenger side. If someone can tell you're a prepper just by walking by your car, they've already started planning how to take what you have. And they'll wait until you're not home. Or worse, until you're asleep. Because in post-collapse America, being prepared doesn't just keep you alive. It paints a target right between your shoulder blades. 3. Security cameras and home surveillance systems. Now, this might sound backward, but trust me, if looters see cameras, they don't get scared. They get interested, especially the smart ones. In fact, if you've got visible security cameras on every corner of your house, a Ring doorbell up front, motion sensors near the garage, and a sticker that says, "Monitored by XYZ Security," you may have just told the wrong crowd everything they needed to know. Surveillance systems don't just imply you're protecting something. They confirm there's something worth protecting. And in looter psychology, that's a green light. Why do you think high-end homes in California, New York, and Chicago, with full surveillance systems, have been targeted more in the past 18 months than ever before? Because those systems don't scare off professionals, they attract them. According to the National Criminal Intelligence Resource Center, organized theft rings now include cyber-literate scouts who specialize in identifying and disabling home security setups, especially Wi-Fi-based systems that can be jammed or hacked. And once the grid flickers or cell networks go dark, which by the way already happened in parts of Louisiana and Arizona this year, you're left with blinking cameras and zero backup. But it's not just what the cameras record, it's what they broadcast. That bright blue ring LED, that's visible from across the street. That motion floodlight, it screams, "We're high-tech, high alert, and probably stocked to the ceiling with goods." In short, you're telling the wolves you're a fortress. And the modern predator doesn't fear a fortress. He studies it. He maps the blind spots. He waits for the power to fail. Then he walks right in. So unless you're running hardwired encrypted surveillance with zero cloud dependency and hidden sensors, you're not discouraging crime. You're advertising your value. In the post-crisis American landscape, visibility isn't safety. It's vulnerability disguised as control. 2. Piles of Amazon boxes and brand logos on the trash. You probably didn't expect your trash to betray you, but it does. Every single week. And if you're not thinking like a looter, you're already behind. Because while you're breaking down boxes and dragging them to the curb, someone else is doing recon. That stack of Amazon Prime packaging, the huge flat-screen TV box, the Costco water jug labels, the discarded packaging from a new power tool or home gym. It's all there in plain sight, and it's better intel than anything Google Maps could ever give. In fact, police departments in several states, Missouri, Michigan, and Georgia, have already issued public warnings in 2025 urging homeowners not to place branded boxes at the curb after major purchases. Why? Because looters don't need drones or high-tech scanners to know who's got the goods. Your garbage is a treasure map. And in hard times, when stores are empty, shelves are bare, and desperation creeps in like mold, your recycling bin becomes a grocery list for thieves. If they see a generator box, that means you've got backup power. Solar panel packaging, you're energy independent. Water filtration equipment, dehydrated food containers, or ammo boxes. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, which in a world crumbling around the edges makes you a primary target. And let's not forget porch pirates. Those petty thieves have evolved. They're now working with ex-cons and online black markets looking for patterns. If you order in bulk, they know. If you set it outside for pickup, they watch. The trash tells your story whether you want it to or not. So the next time you drag that packaging out to the curb, understand what you're doing. You're painting a bullseye in cardboard. Cut it up, hide the logos, burn it if you have to. Because the guy watching from his car across the street, he just found his next house. And if he's really desperate, he's not coming when you're away. He's coming when you're asleep. 1. We don't call 911. Signs, American flags, and don't tread on me imagery. It might feel patriotic. It might feel empowering. But in the new America, the one fraying at the seams after a record-breaking year of urban unrest, rolling, blackouts, and food insecurity, it's also a dead giveaway. Let's be real. Nothing says, we're armed, stocked, and prepared to defend what we have, like a big yellow Gadsden flag, or a rusty trespassers will be shot sign. But to looters, that doesn't scream stay away. It screams this house has stuff worth protecting. Think about it. If you were scavenging for food, fuel, or medicine in a neighborhood where every other house is dark and quiet, but one has an American flag waving, a "Don't Tread on Me" sticker, and visible rifle decals on the truck window, where are you going to look first? That house isn't just shelter. It's likely got supplies, ammunition, radios, fuel, and maybe even the leadership mindset that makes people build bunkers instead of bug-out bags. That's exactly who looters target. Not the weak, but the strong. Not because they want to fight, but because they want what you've already prepared. And if you think warning signs will stop them, think again. Those signs are challenge accepted to the worst kind of criminals, the ones who break into rural properties knowing full well there's a shotgun inside. In the past year alone, rural home invasions increased 28% in states like Arkansas, West Virginia, and Kentucky, specifically targeting homes with visible 2A signage or prepper aesthetics. This is the new war for resources, and the front line is your front porch. So if you're advertising that you're ready for a fight, be damn sure you can finish it. Because once they know you're prepped, you're not just a target. You're the target. Look, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it because it's already happening. The chaos won't wait for your calendar to clear. When the lights go out and the sirens go silent, the only thing that'll matter is what you already had hidden, or what you left in plain sight. And if any of these 7 things are out there right now exposed to the world, you've got more than just nosy neighbors. You've got desperate eyes tracking every move you make. The time to blend in was yesterday. Because in this new America, the one unraveling from the inside out, it's not about how much you've stocked. It's about how little you've shown. The homes that survive, they don't advertise. They vanish. They look boring. They look empty. And when looters scan the block, they pass right over them like they were never there. But the ones who brag, the ones who prep loud and live large, they're already circled on someone's mental map. Right now, maybe your house, maybe your street. And when the system fails, they won't knock. So seal the cracks, cover the signs, strip it all down. Because if you think things are getting better in this country, you haven't been paying attention. And the people watching you, they have.